Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. I'm bringing the Wood Elves again, and this time we're facing off once again against the vampire counts. I told you I wanted to bring the male Glade Lord because no one ever brings him, so here he is in all his glory. There's the male Glade Lord, the other Glade Lord. My army here is going to be my anti-vampire count army for the most part. The front line of Eternal Guard, we have 2 Treekin mixed in here and Ancient Treeman in the middle. And then I brought 2 Wildwood Rangers to spice things up a little bit. Back here, they are currently deployed in a way to protect from rear charges. We have 2 Eagles and then the Glade Lord. Over here, we have Vlad von Karstein. Let me know if you've heard this matchup before. Multiple Graveguard, including 1 Stearnsman. We have 2 Blood Knights, 2 Cryptors, and a Claw of Nagash. The first 5 minutes of this battle was me hitting the Claw of Nagash with my Glade Lord's abilities. Or not abilities, but his just arrows. Now, it was a toss-up between him and Vlad von Karstein. The thing is, the Glade Lord has magical damage. This thing has 25% magical resistance, but low armor. Vlad von Karstein has 15 magical resistance, but high armor. So I was like, let's just try and nail the Claw of Nagash. So by the time in this battle, my opponent has spent 3 Invocation of Hex on the Claw of Nagash to try and keep it up. And you can see it's down to nearly about half health. I cannot really regen anymore. And I'm about to march up our army up to this grove of trees because I want to get some kind of advantage that I can, because these Blood Knights I know are going to be swinging around and hitting my backside, so I want to make sure that we are in the forest to try and negate some of the damage that they deal. Now, I did try to search for another opponent, for a non-vampire count opponent, but 5 times in a row, I kid you not, this is the 5th time, I came into matchups against vampire count players. All different people. They weren't the same person. So by the end I was like, you know what, let's just fight against the vampire counts again. I wonder why the vampire counts are so popular these days. It's weird. It's almost like they got some kind of crazy buff or some shit. It's weird. But so yeah, I was forced to kind of take my anti-vampire count build. Again, I did mix it up by bringing these Wildwood Rangers this time. I didn't bring those last time, so there you go. That's like slightly different. And then yeah, the male Glade Lord. So the way this is set up, the male Glade Lord has the AoE that gives 8 melee attacks units around him. It's a circle. Actually, it's about this size of the grove of trees. It's about how wide of area it affects. Over here, also, I forgot to mention, we have a Branch Wraith, who also has the plus 8 to attack as one of her skills, and she increases the speed of the army. So right here, I'm trying to match my enemy's formation, so we're going to try and readjust like this, because I want this Branch Wraith to use their Pendulum spell. I brought the Pendulum and the Healing spell to try and hit all these Graveguard, because it's a very effective tactic. It's like Winds of Death, but for the Wood Elves. Not as effective as Winds of Death, but damn near effective. So we're going to let the vampire counts charge me because I want my line to be one solid straight line, so it's easier to line up the shot. There you can see I'm marching out to aim down the center. We're going to hit these 3 Graveguard right here. Cryptors are coming in. The Blood Knights are going to be coming around and trying to hit my flanks where I have my Wildwood Rangers currently. And you can see a group of zombies being spawned. There are going to be a lot of spawns. Go figure. And that it just did massive damage to these Graveguard. What I think is massive. It's pretty cool. And then we're going to cast a heal spell over here. Right now, my Glade Lord was pretty tired initially, so I was just kind of having him hang out. But now that the armies are engaged, we're going to engage against this Claw of Nagash and take it out really quickly, because that is a thing I do not want to have in this battle for that long. Meanwhile, these Cryptors are actually dealing a lot of damage to our Eternal Guards with shields. I thought they would hold up a little better. This unit is not being macro right now. We'll get to that eventually. I'm going to try and get my Wildwood Rangers right here to absorb this rear charge, because in the forest, they have charge defense versus large. So they actually negate some of the charge of these Blood Knights because I managed to brace them in time, and they're going to deal some damage to them. Meanwhile, the other Blood Knights get behind our Eternal Guard here, so I'm going to pull my secondary Wildwood Rangers away from these zombies they're fighting and get into these Blood Knights. We just destroyed the Claw of Nagash, and I do not want to fight Vlad von Karstein quite yet, so we are going to withdraw from this combat, and I believe we go over here. Excuse me, because I want to finish off these Blood Knights because they were getting dangerously low due to fighting my Wildwood Rangers in the forest. Meanwhile, the front line in the center is not really holding up that much, but we still do have the Ancient Tree Man and some Treekin nearby, so that's okay. I'll be more spawns came down. Yeah, some more zombies back here. I'm not sure if they summon any skeletons, actually. I think it's just mostly zombies. These Blood Knights going to go in for another rear charge against my Wildwood Rangers. I'm trying to get them braced, but it's not really going to work. So we're going to re-engage these Blood Knights over here. Meanwhile, our Hero Squad and the 2 Eagles are going to destroy the rest of these Blood Knights along with the Wildwood Rangers and these Eternal Guard, which I pulled back from right here, which now we're going to come over, I believe, and I put them into here. Is what they do. Meanwhile, my Hero Squad is also going to be coming over here. I needed to run my Branch Wraith away from these Cryptors to save her life because she was dying. And now we're going to try and destroy this Blood Knight. Just relying on my Treekin being very tanky to hold off the rest of these Graveguard. Pulling back units that came back, or that routed. We're going to get to these eventually. And so we're just trying to take out the high threat targets first. And the Blood Knights are definitely one of those. So that's what we were doing here. Getting more Wildwood Rangers in here, getting more Eternal Guards in here. And yeah, my line is basically just being held together by the Treemen. Treekin, Treekin, Treeman. And that's cool. They are so damn tanky. They can hold off Graveguard for days. Days and days, as you've seen before. So I'm totally okay with that happening and my Eternal Guard being back here taking out some other threats. Now with those other Blood Knight group nearly dead, we're going to focus on this Crypt Horror, and then I think we're going to focus on this Crypt Horror afterwards. We're just taking out targets, one by one by one. That's what this hero squad was kind of made for. Because the front line is just going to tank. I mean, look at these Treemen. I think I maybe hit them once with the spell at this point, like a healing spell, but they are just so damn tanky, especially when fighting only against Graveguard. If these were Graveguard with great weapons, this could be a different story. But normal Graveguard, Treekin are totally fine fighting for days. We're going to be pulling in more of our units that came in, or that routed. We're going to get them back into this fight. You can see we have a decent clump of infantry right here. They're going to be led by this Branch Wraith, who's going to stay nearby and buff all their attacks with +8, while my hero squad is going to go over here. We're going to finish these Blood Knights, and then we're going to pop up over to the Crypt Horrors. Ooh, these units I think come back eventually. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing over here, trying to fight through these zombies, multiple zombies being summoned. You can see another group of zombies are summoned over here. Treekin still just holding off these Stearnsmen, Graveguard. These Graveguard are finally like, F this. Like, my opponent was finally like, you know what, this is getting me nowhere. So they're finally going to go down the center and try to engage with these Eternal Guard, which is a fight that they are going to be in favor of winning without any assistance from me. That is, like, if we just let these two duke it out, the Graveguard will probably win. So now the Treekin are only fighting against these this group of Graveguard. These Stearnsmen were pulled over here to this clump of infantry where they are fighting against the Wildwood Rangers, my Branch Wraith, and Eternal Guard. My hero squad is taking out the Crypt Horror over here. And now I pulled away my Ancient Treeman, who was eventually going to die, because he was 1v1ing Vlad von Karsten this whole time and a bunch of Graveguard. So I decided to pull him over here. We're going to hit this whole group with the heal spell from our Branch Wraith over here because we just got enough magic to do that. And I want to protect what's left of my Treeman. I was okay with him tanking away most of his health to Vlad von Karstein, but now that he's almost dead, I need him to be with the hero squad with more units to make him survive some more. And so now we took out that secondary Crypt Horror, and now Vlad is over here by himself, so we're going to pounce on him with the two Great Eagles, our Lord, and the Ancient Treeman. These Ancient Treekin, I think I move over to the Graveguard, I can't remember. And then over here, we're just still tanking out these Stearnsmen with our Wildwood Rangers, Eternal Guard, and our Branch Wraith, who I'm about to pull out because she's almost dead. And I was like, oh shit. And there we go, I'm pulling her out because I really want her +8 to melee. You can see, like, these guys have 53 attack. Eternal Guard are up to 34, 35 for some reason. So yeah, we need to keep her alive for AoE buffs. Also, she gives a speed buff to the entire army, which is always nice. So we're just going to kind of keep her safe behind these Treemen and these guys. Meanwhile, we are just pounding on Vlad von Karsten here with the hero army, or the hero squad, and the Ancient Treeman. And we are going to rout the vampire counts once again. I'm telling you, this army is pretty effective at murdering, like, what I'll say normal vampire count makeups. I'm sure there are many other vampire count compositions that can beat this one, but I think most vampire counts right now are gearing for like a more traditional army of a front line of Eternal Guard and then like a bunch of archers behind them, and then you just overwhelm the front line, and then, you know, you do the summon thing and Blood Knight thing and all that stuff. But this army is just very resilient against that type of vampire count play, and I don't think I've lost with this type of army against like a more traditional vampire count army before. Like I said, it's very effective at battling vampire counts. And I did want to bring you, like I said, a different battle, but man, I just got tired of searching for opponents, I'll be honest. I got tired. So, yeah, again, Wood Elf versus Vampire count. Sorry, I know, we just did that yesterday. But at least this time it was with a male Glade Lord. In terms of his contribution to the battle, I mean, I couldn't really say, because there's not much that he does. He's just a melee Lord for the most part after you expend his ammunition. I'm sure the +8 to melee attack definitely assisted the Great Eagles, because I think that bumps them up to near 50-ish melee attack. So that's always great. So, I don't know. I still don't think it's as useful as the female one, but he's fine, I guess. 82 kills on the Branch right there, which is pretty good. Frontline did really well. These Wildwood Rangers did exceptionally well. Great Eagles are great in the hero squad, and then the Ancient Treemen just held for days. That's what they do. They hold for days. For Pikes here, we have a decent amount of kills in the Graveguard, Stearnsmen. The Blood Knights, one of them did really well. This is the one that charged me in the forest against braced charge defense Wildwood Rangers, so that did not turn out well for them. And the Crypt Horrors did okay, but I mean, they're fighting against an army that's basically all anti-large, so, you know, they're only going to do so well. And then the Claw and the Gash, I spent the first 5 minutes of the game expending all my ammunition to get it down to half health, and then we pounced on it at the end. It has very low armor, and if it's not surrounded by troops to support it, then a mobile squad like these Great Eagles and the Glade Lord are going to just destroy it. And we did, as you saw there. So that was very effective. So anyway, good game to Pikes, and I hope you enjoyed another Wood Elf versus VC matchup. Listen, there's a lot of VC I'm playing these days. It's just the nature of the game right now. But yeah, let's go check on a cinematic view of the male Glade Lord versus Daddy Von Karstein. What else looks so cool? I do think the high elves look a little cooler. At least their mainline infantry look a little cooler, but still, they're all cool, really. Bring a Graveguard. There go the zombies. Such a cool spell. That Necromancer is like, fuck. Get these ankles off me. More zombies. You know, initially, when the Wildwood Rangers came out, I was really just not feeling them. But after that hotfix buff that they got, they are pretty good. I mean, I think we've all known this for a while at this point, but they are pretty good. And they look awesome. Get him, Eagles. Pluck them out of the little saddles and... Oh, well, okay, never mind. Now, a way to counter this counter VC build as VC is just bring Winds of Death, man. Because I think it's... If you win Winds of Death this army, that's it. That's GG instantly. If the opponent is not quick on the move, or too quick to move their army, boom, that's done. So I would wait. Like, what I would do if I was facing against Wood Elf, well, it's hard. Because you don't know you're going to be facing off against the counter VC build like this. Because a lot of Wood Elves that I fought always bring more traditional, like, compositions with archers and little in the way of melee. But I don't know. If you come across this, and if you bring Winds of Death, and you smash like some Skeletal Warriors into their front line of Treemen and Eternal Guard, then just whip Vlad von Karstein or any other Vampire Lord off to the flank. Make sure they're not flying, by the way, because if you're flying, that's pretty risky against the Wood Elves. And then just Winds of Death. Do what I did. Like, wait for the armies to engage, then Pendulum. Wait for the armies to engage, then Winds of Death. Don't try to Winds of Death before the armies engage, because a lot of players will just move out of the way. Because Winds of Death is a long cast time. Get him, Treeman. Treeman, George. Eagles are on the move. They are walking with a purpose. Branch Wraith holding up the left flank. She's so cool. I mean, she just rolls with like a human skeleton on her back. Like, it's pretty cool. I think that's going to be, I think everything, yeah, it's melting. So again, hope you enjoyed, everybody. I will see you all in the next one, which I'll try to make sure is not just Wood Elf versus VC. Take care, everybody.